Since the release of Discovery's first episode in 2017, Star Trek fans have been able to enjoy no less than 4 other new series. Picard and Lower Decks began in 2020, Prodigy a year later, and now we have Strange New Worlds. These last few years should have been a veritable Star Trek renaissance. Instead, I am surprised we have been able to put up with nearly 5 years of Discovery. A series often maligned by fans as completely devoid of the classic feel that the original series and Star Trek The Next Generation gave. I tend to agree. While Discovery has improved, it cannot get by its biggest flaws. The first is that the main character is obnoxious, rule-breaking even when it is not needed. On top of that, the special effects might be realistic, but they also distract. Most of the secondary characters are overly arrogant and their involvement tend to make stories melodramatic. I let you be the judge of the last season because I have not yet seen it. And then there is Picard. While I enjoyed season 1, I saw there were many problems, mostly with the pacing. But season 2, which just ended, was a lot worse. Filled with promise, it felt completely uneven, which culminated with a distracting exploration of Jean-Luc's childhood difficulties. So you would almost be forgiven for not paying attention to the new series, Strange New Worlds. This series got off the ground after much pressure from fans after its main character, Captain Pike, made an extended appearance on Discovery during its second season. The vibe actor Anson gave the character felt authentic, as did the portrayal by Romain as his number 1. This meant a spin-off was almost guaranteed. For many fans, the reintroduction of Pike into the series feels like it is the road not taken. Pike originally commanded the Enterprise during the first pilot episode. Remember, there were 2 pilot episodes. After which, of course, Kirk commanded the ship. That may still happen. This series is set a decade before the original series, and it is set in the original timeline, not the Kelvin timeline started by J.J. Abrams in 2009. So now we have a new series, Strange New Worlds. The title certainly sounds promising. The first episode certainly sets the proper mark. It deals mostly with Pike and Spock as they return to the now repaired Enterprise after it was damaged in Discovery. Pike appears distracted, reliving the horrors of knowing for certainty how he will die. Becoming paraplegic and grotesque as he did in his reappearance in the original series is meant to be a certainty in a decade or so of time, and Pike is distracted when he reboards the Enterprise on a rescue mission to a planet over which his number 1 and her crew have gone missing. Meanwhile, Spock has to deal with his own emotional turbulence. He is getting married, but when duty calls, he does not hesitate to leave Vulcan, thus guaranteeing either the marriage won't happen or it won't last. And so we have a basic premise for Strange New Worlds. It is not meant to be that different from either the original series or any that came after it. Basically, Pike is Kirk without being Kirk. This series is produced by Akiva Goldsman and Alex Kurtzman and aims to go around the galaxy looking for adventures. And I am perfectly okay with that. Of course, there are many more characters serving on board the Enterprise than just Pike and Spock. As acting first officer, the aforementioned number 1, there is Una Chin Riley, who first made her appearance alongside Pike in the pilot episode of Star Trek. In this continuity, she was introduced alongside Pike on Discovery and is played by Rebecca Romijn. Uhura has also been posted as comms officer. I find the fact she is serving on the Enterprise a full decade before Kirk comes on the scene as surprising. In this episode, her role is minor, along with helmsman Ortegas. A slightly larger role is given to Dr. Benga, who appears to be an old acquaintance of Pike. He serves alongside Nurse Chapel, another familiar name from Star Trek's early days. Of more interest is Security Officer Noonian Singh, who appears to have been a relative of none other than Noonian Singh. Her background is expounded upon as part of the episode's deeper theme, mortality. As a child, La'an was travelling with her family on board a colony ship. The Gorn brutally killed everybody she knew, but left La'an alive. It was then Anson Una Riley who helped her get back home. The experience left her traumatized. Her character is played by Christina Chong and comes off as intense. We will see how her ancestry will play a role in the series. As mentioned, Pike and the Enterprise need to rescue Number 1, who was on a first contact mission. They attempt to do so without breaking General Order Number 1, or the Prime Directive as it will become known. With Number 1 held hostage on a planet split into two factions, Pike is confronted with the fact he is out of options. While the rescue proceeds well, the unintended access to a warp bomb by one of the factions means planetary annihilation is almost guaranteed. In a desperate gamble, bending the rules as much as he can, Pike exposes the Enterprise to the planet's population and announces that unless they change their ways, mutual destruction is all but certain. In effect, he draws a comparison of the planet's inevitable destruction with his own fate. The planet's inhabitants might have believed such destruction would never happen, but Pike realizes that such a belief makes it inevitable. He himself can barely believe what his own fate will be, and that unnerves him. While the result is positive, and the crew isn't even charged with Starfleet, I cannot help but wonder what Pike is capable of to alter his own future. How far will he bend the rules? Viewers of the original series already know some of that. I liked this episode. Actor Anson Mount is totally engrossing to watch as Captain Pike. The special effects and the cinematography were also perfect. However, I cannot judge this series by watching just one episode, but for now I will continue to watch. I think the secondary characters have potential, especially Spock and La'an, though I also fervently hope there won't be too much melodrama. Some of the humor did not work for me, such as the scene with two of the planet's inhabitants awakening inside sickbay after being tranquilized and then being chased throughout the ship. I am sure that in such a case, procedure would dictate security officers should be present. The scene just felt too silly, and neither Dr. Mbenga nor Nurse Chapel came over as sympathetic. Anyway, a new Star Trek series has been born. I hope this brings back some of the vibe from the original series and the next generation that currently I only get while watching The Orville. I hope you enjoyed this short video review. Please hit the like button, that will really help my channel out, and if you want to see more content like it, then please hit the subscribe button.